while we were sleeping, a new set of anti-money laundering rules were put in place in the EU. In case you haven't heard of it, MiCA has been officially signed into law today. What does this mean? Welcome back, everybody. Now, we covered this in a previous clip, actually, and I feel as though there isn't much noise around this, although we should be paying attention to it. Anyways, let's dive into it. Here we go. This is a tweet out of at Patty Hansen or Patrick Hansen. MiCA has been officially signed into law today by the European Parliament President Roberta Metsola and Swedish Rural Affairs Minister Peter Kullgren. Markets in crypto assets. MiCA framework signed into law by EU officials. That's right. The grip is closing in. It was signed alongside a separate law that aims to prevent crypto from being used for money laundering purposes, among other things, by banning anonymous crypto transactions of more than €1,000, or about 1,070 US dollars. Now, I do find this very interesting because you see, and this is something that we've shown time and time again, and there's plenty of receipts for it. The reality is that the majority of money laundering, and I would even dare say 90% plus of the world's money laundering takes place through the banking system and the central banks. So, because let's face it, you and me, we're peons, right? We don't have the rails. We don't have the rails to move millions and billions of dollars. But you know who does? Interestingly enough, who does? The banks and the bankers. They have the rails to move all kinds of money. So, when you see stuff like this, you know that it's bullshit. And it gives you an idea of how stupid we as individuals are perceived to be, because we're going to believe this absolute nonsense, right? Oh yeah, they're preventing crypto from being used for money laundering. The piece that I found very interesting is this, right? That this MiCA regulation was signed alongside a separate law that aims to prevent crypto from being used for money laundering. So what I decided to do was I just went to go take a look. And I mean, I already know that quote unquote crypto is pseudonymous, but I figured it was important to provide some mainstream narrative, right? So here we go. In movies and shows, cryptocurrencies are shown as the best way to move money around anonymously, whether for purposes of money laundering or even just simple tax evasion. However, is crypto anonymous, really? Or can you be tracked when using it? And I know it's going to sound like tinfoil hat, but believe me, all of this is shown in a specific way in order to get the average person to think of Bitcoin and shitcoins in a specific way, right? It needs to be perceived that it stands outside the law. So here we go. These are the key takeaways here. Most cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin included, are not anonymous, but pseudonymous, not hiding your identity as much as giving you a fake one. While pseudonym can hide you, it's not foolproof. Through some smart searching of a cryptocurrency's blockchain, you could find out the real world identities behind wallets. So again, not anonymous, not good for money laundering. It turns out that most cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin included, don't deserve their reputation for secrecy and anonymity. Though they're a lot harder to track than regular electronic payments, they're not exactly casting a veil of secrecy over your money when using it. The new law will make the EU the first major jurisdiction that has a regulatory framework for crypto, thus offering the clarity that many firms in the industry have asked for. Already, major crypto companies such as Binance have praised the European initiative to regulate crypto. There are now clear rules of the game for crypto exchanges to operate in the EU. We're ready to make adjustments to our business over the next 12 to 18 months to be in position of full compliance, CZ said back when the law was passed by European Parliament. Okay, we are seeing a couple of different themes play out here, right? It's interesting that the EU is being praised for providing guidance. I posted a link to the MiCA rules for everybody to, if you decide that you want to dig into this deeper and take a look. I got to be honest with you. I don't see this type of regulation as anything different at all than what the SEC has said up until this point. The only difference that I'm seeing is that they've taken the step to sign it into law. Now, we're going to go back to this point about the money laundering and the pseudonymity and the anonymity. So there's no question, right? Disruptive technology like this that the government cannot control is obviously scary. So as a result, there needs to be a widespread, agreed upon narrative, okay, that this technology is being used in very bad ways in order to help produce the laws and the requirements that will make sure that it'll become safe, right? And when we talk about safety, we're not talking about your safety or my safety. Nobody gives a shit about us, okay? Like, I know that sounds mean, but it's true, okay? These institutions, they don't give a shit. This all has to do with the maintenance of power, the maintenance of control, and ensuring that the moat always exists, right? Because if you're the body that is creating the regulation, right, then obviously you stand outside of this system, overseeing this system, making sure that this system works for everyone, everybody. And of course, it's always protecting the little guy. Anyways, look, I don't think that this MiCA regulation is, I don't think this is actually a good thing. I do think, though, that other countries are gonna model themselves after it. So we are going to pay close attention, and this does prompt, whether we want to accept it or not, this does prompt a response from the SEC, because even though I said before, this doesn't seem like anything different than what the SEC has said, which it really isn't. The difference is that they took the step to sign it into law. So let's see. SEC, it's now your move. That does it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Help us fight the evil YouTube algorithm. And I will catch you all next week.